Alice, would you play for us? Thank you. Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos, everyone. I'm Rabbi Denise Ager. Welcome to Congregation Kol Ami, both here in West Hollywood, and to those of you online, Shabbat Shalom. I use she, her pronouns, and we're a congregation inclusive of whatever pronouns you use, he, him, they, them, ze, zir. We respectful and honor people as they are. Tonight, as we are celebrating Shabbat in our congregation, we are ending the Passover holiday. We observe the 7 days as written in the Torah and as they do in the land of Israel. Some of our diaspora siblings will continue yet another day, but here at Kol Ami, we are counting the days towards Shavuot. Let us begin and to welcome Shabbat and to sing to God with Dodi Lee, page 129 in our prayer book, Mishkan Tefillah, which if you're online with us, you can find at ccarnet.org and go to the coronavirus resources. You can find the flip book there that will have the same pagination as the prayer books we use here in our sanctuary in West Hollywood. Dodi Lee from Song of Songs. Rabbi?
Dodi livani lo haroeh bashoshanim. Dodi li. Let's try that again. Dodi livani lo haroeh Shoshanim. Dodi li mizot olam min hamidbar. Mizot olam min hamidbar. Dodi livani lo haroeh bashoshanim. Dodi li.
We're so honored to invite Leonard Seelig to light our Shabbat candles in honor of his birthday. Happy birthday, Yom Huledet Sameach. And Peter Mackler, who's also sponsoring tonight's service in memory of his father, Sam Mackler, whose yortzeit is this week. Page 121 in your prayer book. Hold on. Yes, there you go.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we be, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As the brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
He doesn't want to blow out. You want to read the blessing, Connor? It's okay. No sorries. We got time.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tivanu l'hadlik ner shal Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Stay ready.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech haolam Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner v'tzivanu Lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you who commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Peter, if you'll lift our Kiddush cup on high, page 123, we sanctify Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kinshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit Ki hu yom techila lemikraei kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat lechaim.
Thank you both. Happy birthday, Leonard. Thank you. We turn now to continue to welcome this Shabbat, page 138, the song that was written, the psalm that was written by Shlomo Alkabetz, his name embedded in each of the verses to welcome Shabbat, L'chadodi.
L'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela L'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad Yishmianu el ha'meyuchad Adonai echad Shmo echad L'shemo tiferet v'litwila L'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela L'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha Ki lekol haberacha Merosh mikedem mesucha Sof maaseh b'machshava tila L'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela L'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela
Let's rise together and greet the Sabbath.
Boim בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני הסגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
Let's turn and greet one another. Good Shabbos, and introduce yourself if you don't know. And online, wish you each a good Shabbos. Hope you had a great and meaningful Passover. Shabbat Shalom. I'm
Shabbat
glad you're
Shalom,
with
Mom.
us.
Shabbat Shalom, Dad and Ronnie. Hope you're enjoying your dinner. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Page 146, let us remain standing as we're able for the call to worship.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la la la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated. Won't you join me in Hebrew on page 148? Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach she'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem berakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid imloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
Now I invite us all to please rise as we turn to page 152 for the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod,
as we chant the Ve'ahavta, reminder that it talks about the exodus from Egypt, which we've experienced once again this week together. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta ba'am v'shivtecha v'beitecha uvlechtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם להות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. This morning's Torah reading for the 7th day of Passover is the parting of the Red Sea. Today, this morning, was the day that we crossed safely, that we really, truly, finally escaped from Pharaoh, from bondage, from oppression. That miracle stays with us. The extraordinary moment of being able to walk across on dry land and to reach the other side. Tears of joy, tears of jubilation, songs of rejoicing that still echo inside each and every one of us. As we sing the Michamocha, remember, you were there. You stood at that shore, at that seashore. You saw and walked between the walls of water, and you turned when you reached the other side to bid adieu to oppression and enslavements, to explore for yourself what it means to be a free human being, subject only to your own free will and to our faith in God. And so let us sing as they sang with jubilation, Michamocha, page 158.
Ya la la la, ya la 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 la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Michamocha, mocha ba'enim Adonai, Michamocha, nedar b'kodesh, tehilo osefele, osefele, osefele. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you?
Imagine those first few moments of freedom and all of the sweetness and relief that must have come with it. And then as the sun set and it gets dark, I imagine a lot of fear comes rushing through all of the recently freed Israelites. And it's that feeling of fear that we all have, whether it's triggered by the darkness, it's triggered by other things going on in our life or in our body or in our world. And one of the only things we ask for on Shabbat is for that protection from God, for that Sukkot Shalom, that shelter of peace. So we will sing together Hashkivenu, asking God for that shelter of peace, perhaps thinking of the Israelites who offered the same prayer in those first few moments of freedom. Page 160.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. One more time, let there be love. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Ve'amidenu, Shomreinu lechaim. Ufros aleinu, Sukkot shlomecha. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Veshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
There's nothing sweeter, I think, than celebrating Shabbat with family and friends, celebrating Shabbat with our Kol Ami family. And so as we sing the words from the book of Exodus, Vishamru, we think about that tie that binds us, that is the Sabbath day. So let us sing about our eternal covenant through Shabbat, page 162.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת
congregation here in West Hollywood and all of the LA area sits on the land of the indigenous people of the Gabrielino and Tongva tribes. Tonight I'm going to share a poem with you written by Anna Lee Walker, a powerful writer and poet who is of the Pawnee Oto Missouri tribe, called I Am of the Earth. I am of the earth, she is my mother. She bore me with pride. She reared me with love. She cradled me each evening. She pushed the wind to make it sing. She built me a house of harmonious colors. She fed me the fruits of her fields. She rewarded me with memories of her smiles. She punished me with the passing of time. And at last, when I long to leave, she will embrace me for eternity. As we prepare to recite our Amidah, our Tefillah, we think about eternity. We think about our connections to our ancestors, too, of the past. And we think about the hope and the promises for peace in the future. Let us rise in prayer together, beginning on page 164, and then continuing silently with our own meditations.
Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagim Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagim Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagim Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagim Tehilatecha.
We continue with silent prayer through 181, and of course, always invite the words of your own heart.
Yehiyu leratzon im reifi v'egyom libi lefanecha. Page 180. Adonai tzuri ve'goali
peeling back the curtain just a little bit, each Friday that I am on this bima with Rabbi Levy and Rabbi Egger, I almost always go through the Kaddish list and the Mishaberach list to make sure that I pronounce people's names as best as I possibly can and rely on people like Rabbi Egger who have been here from the beginning. And this week in particular, Rabbi Egger said, just so you know, the Mishaberach list is a long one. So as we begin to think of those who are in need of healing of body, of mind, and of spirit, I ask, Shema Kolenu, God, hear our voice in prayer and ask that these lists just begin to get smaller week by week, little by little. This week, Congregation Kol Ami is thinking about John Altschul, Gary Ashland, Vicky Beard, Richard Bernard, Lisa Bird, Dabby Blatt, Elaine Blatt, Louise Cantrell, Wayne Cantrell, Jonathan Coogan, Arlene Drake, Gail Ehrlich, Tino Felipe, Richard Frank, Dorothy Gibson Anderson, Zeus Goldberg, Reba Goldman, Brad Greenberg, Dave Hall, Stephen Hochstein, Don Hollis, Susan Igdaloff, Herb Jacobson, Tim Jordan, Heidi Kebus, Katie Kitchens, Vanessa Knight, Starlin Lemons, Daryl Levine, Marilyn Horwitz, Peter Mackler, Anton Milley, Chuck Pace, Stan Papel, Zachary Pierce, Tammy Rabowski, Howard Romanoff, Neil Romanoff, Tracy Rosen, Ivan Rosenberg, Lowell Selvin, Michael Simmental, Henry Sommerfeld, Muriel Stein, Barbara Thompson, David Suriel, Josh Weinman, Kathy Weiss, Phil Windsor, Eitan Wolf, Nancy Wortman, and David Ben Herschel Vibasha. And to those names we added those that you want to say aloud, whether you're in the sanctuary with us or whether you are home watching us on Facebook or on YouTube, or you might want to write their names in the chat and bring them into our prayer space as well.
We lift up our prayers with our voices as well as we sing our prayer for healing, the Misha Beirach, which can be found on page 371. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
At the Well, an organization, a project whose mission is to create spaces of belonging, to learn about our bodies, and to connect with transformative Jewish rituals, provides us with this beautiful teaching about counting the Omer. The ritual known as the counting of the Omer is the Torah's instruction to us to number off every day of the 49 days that separate Passover, our festival of freedom, from Shavuot, the day that we celebrate receiving Torah. Like all biblical holidays, the three Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot all have agricultural connections, and the Omer translates as a sheaf of grain. And this counting of the Omer happens in 7 weeks between Passover and Shavuot. which is also known as the first fruit offering in the summer. So why counting, and why these days? The answer, like many things in Judaism, is found in the number 7. The number 7 is code for two things in the Torah: wholeness and holiness, and its base unit for the way sacred time is arranged in the biblical view. The seventh day is our day of rest, and when the priests get the tabernacle ready to be God's house, they need 7 days worth of ritual in order to prepare. Harvest festivals like this one last 7 days, and a baby boy gets 7 days in the world before undergoing circumcision. When we count the Omer, we count sets of 7, each week building on the one before, like a spiral staircase, helping us to make the climb up to Revelation. To support us on our way, 16th century Kabbalists offered a special intention for each week, each inspired by one of the attributes of God. And tonight, we transition from week 1 to week 2 of the Omer. Week 1 was Chesed, loving kindness. At the Well offered the following question for us to reflect on: what would it feel like to look at your life through the lens of love? And as we transition to week 2 tonight, I want to share with you the intention that they set for this week, hoping that it might bring an added level of meaning to your week, whether or not you count the Omer. This week is Gevurah, which they translate as heroic discipline, and their intention is this is the week that you work the power of, and really listen to this, setting limits and knowing just how and when it's time to say no. So do with that what you will, especially on Shabbat. Please join me on page 570 as we recite the counting of the Omer. Is it customary to rise for this? It is. Please rise as you are able as we recite the Omer. Hineni mukhan umzuman lekayem mitzvat aseh shel sfirat haomer. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kijanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer. Hayom shiva yamim shehem shavua echad leomer. Today is the 7th day, which is exactly 1 week in the counting of our Omer.
And let us say amen. Please be seated. Thank you, Ilana, for that teaching. Well, Shabbat Shalom, friends. Happy Earth Day. Not birthday, well, to Leonard, it is your birthday. But it is also Earth Day. Just as we've ended Pesach tonight, our secular calendar observes Earth Day, which has been observed since 1970. It was first observed in the United States when some 20 million people took to the streets in 1970 to protest about the 1969 Santa Barbara oil spill. Since then, the occasion has played a very important role in raising awareness on all sorts of environmental issues. The Santa Barbara oil spill in 1969 was the largest oil spill in the United States at that time. It now still ranks 3rd after the 2010 Deepwater Horizon and the 1989 Exxon Valdez spills. And it still remains the largest oil spill here in California. Then Senator Gaylord Nelson, a Democrat from Wisconsin, organized what came to be known as Earth Day, when he succeeded in amassing 20 million people across the country to march and to be educated about environmental issues just a year later. He did this with the help of a young organizer, Dennis Hayes, and U.S. Representative Pete McCloskey, a Republican from here in California. This Earth Day was a bipartisan effort to raise awareness of serious environmental issues. The first Earth Day actually led to a transformation in environmental policy here in the United States. It led to the creation of the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, the passage of other kinds of laws like the National Environmental Education Act, OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Act, and the Clean Air Act. And 2 years later, the Clean Water Act. The concern for our environment, the concern for our world was not about one political party or the other then, but it was something that was used to reach across the aisle, because the earth, our planet home, is for everyone. Jewish tradition, as you know, takes great concern for caring for the land. This year, 5782, is a Shemitah year, a year according to the ancient traditions, the biblical traditions, of letting the land of Israel lie fallow to allow it to replenish its nutrients, to provide for the poor in the community, and to renew and restore the land and its people. It is a time-proven technique of agriculture to not constantly farm the same plot of land year after year, depleting it of its richness. And so the Shemitah year was extended as a spiritual principle, restoring people as all debts are forgiven at the end of a Shemitah year, according to our tradition. And of course, we Jews observe Tu B'Shvat, usually in January or February, the 15th of the month of Shvat, which has been transformed into an environmental holiday, raising awareness of the importance of trees to our ecosystem and care for the earth and its bounty. Judaism has long recognized that as we must be concerned not just for our own lives individually, but for all life. That is why the basis of our understanding comes from the idea in the book of Deuteronomy, Uvacharta b'chayim, choose life. The life of people, the life of animals, the life of trees and plants, the life of our planet. Climate change, climate crisis, call it what you will, can seem so overwhelming. Carbon emissions that cause global warming seem like too huge a problem for the individual to make true change. And yet, there are things each of us can do to help stem the tide. Our personal choices of transportation, of cars, of reducing single-use trips, our personal choices to do add up. So here are some things you can do in your personal choices each and every day to honor our planet and to do your part. With food, you can consume local or seasonal products. You can limit your meat consumption, especially beef. You can select fish from sustainable farms. Bring reusable shopping bags, avoiding products with excessive plastic packaging. Make sure to buy only what you need and avoid waste. In your clothing, we are a disposable society. Take good care of your clothes because they'll take good care of you if you do. Try swapping or buying secondhand. Buy responsibly made clothes from recycled materials or with an eco label. In transport, try to use a bicycle now and then or public transportation. It's actually not so bad here in Los Angeles anymore. Be smart of how and when you drive. Share your car. Set your sights on your next car being a hybrid or plug-in. In your home, turn down your thermostat a bit. Even by 1 degree, it will make a huge difference. Take shorter showers. Turn off the water when you brush your teeth and clean the dishes. Unplug electronic equipment. Don't leave your phone to keep charging and charging when the battery is already full. Select energy-efficient products in your home. And limit and recycle your waste. We are now required by law in California to compost. You're supposed to throw your food scraps in the green organic waste bin. We all can do that. These seems like things we should know, but we all need reminders. It's easy to get lazy and forget that our personal choices do matter to the larger concern. This week's Parsha, Achrei Mot, in the book of Leviticus, takes place after Aaron's sons, Nadav and Avihu, die because they violated the holy space of the tabernacle. They brought in an alien offering to God. The rabbis write about their hubris, thinking that Nadav and Avihu, they had all the answers, that they could do whatever they wanted. That was good enough. But one of the lessons from these stories is that the call to holiness is a discipline. And we just heard that this next week of Counting the Omer is about a discipline. As we contemplate the holiness of our earth, our world, we as its stewards can't simply do anything we want. We need to be, the environmental crisis should teach us that we need to be more disciplined in the care of our earth, our planet, and one another. Each of us can do something. And I conclude with the story of one person who did something. What used to be a landscape devastated by erosion now is 1,360 acres of forest. And it's all due to one Indian man named Yadav Payeng. Since the 1970s, the Majuli Islander has been planting trees in order to save his island. Yadav planted a tree every single day for more than 50 years now. This man-made forest is bigger than Central Park in New York City. It's an incredible forest home built on what was wasteland. It's now home to elephants and rhinos, boars, reptiles, and millions of birds. This botanical enthusiast says he is planning to plant trees until his very last breath. Nature is God, he said. It gives me inspiration. It gives me power. As long as it survives, I survive. You can actually watch a very short documentary on YouTube about his story. I find Yadav's words inspiring. As long as it survives, I survive. The interplay between earth and all of us is essential. For as long as the earth survives, we will survive. The very breath we breathe comes from the trees itself. Yadav plants the very breath of life each and every day. Our Torah portion is teaching us that we must have proper intentionality and proper actions to avert what scientists warn us is a looming crisis on our planet. So let us be holy in our efforts to focus on our relationship to our planet and assert that holiness demands we do better in caring for the land, the sea, the air, and yes, our fellow human beings. When we come together with intentionality, mindfulness to our task, with discipline to care for our earth, we will make a difference. And that time is now. Happy Earth Day, friends. Ken Yehi Ratzon. So may it be God's will. It's my pleasure to invite Rebecca Schurz, who's the member of our Board of Trustees and co-chair of our Tzedek Council, forward to share some words of welcome and a few announcements. Pop up there.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Rebecca Schurz, a member of the Board of Trustees. On behalf of the board and all of Congregation Kol Ami, we want to wish you Shabbat Shalom and welcome. Thank you to our annual Shabbat sponsors, Aaron Aronau and Mike Garza, Daniel Blatt, Evan Cohen, Kerry Davidson and Andrew Ogilvie, Phil and Adi Leyeved, Lauren Ostro and Brian Newkirk, Josh Wyman, and Joseph Zipkin in memory of Rick Lead. Thank you today, this Shabbat, to Leonard for sponsoring tonight's service in honor of his birthday, and happy birthday, and to Peter for sponsoring in memory of his father, Sam Mackler. Tomorrow morning, join Rabbi Levy and student Rabbi Elena Rabashaw in person for our Family Shabbat program at 11 a.m. here in the temple. If you have children, this is the service for both you and your children to come and attend. So please do come. We'll see you in person there. A little later tomorrow, 3:30 in the afternoon, come and join myself, Rabbi Levy, and the Tzedek Council, and we will be gathering in person here to put together lunch bags for the homeless. And so this is an activity we do in partnership with the Hollywood Food Coalition. We'll be aiming to put together 200 bags, and these go out on a Sunday and provide the lunch service for people who during the week rely on the cooked meals from the Hollywood Food Coalition.
300 this week.
Are we aiming for 300 this
Yeah.
week? We're
So
ticking it up.
We're gonna need all the help we can get.
Yeah. Okay. It's a really nice opportunity to do something to feel that we're not solving the whole problem, but we're taking an action where we can make a difference and really actually do some good. So I encourage you to come along and join us for that. 3:30 tomorrow here on Shabbat in the temple. Later this week, on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m., please don't miss the Yom HaShoah observance here, where in the shul we will be screening the award-winning short film, No Goodbyes. This movie is based on the true story of a gay man during the Holocaust. Filmmaker Billy Clift will be here in attendance for a Q&A after the film. There will be a short memorial for Yom HaShoah afterwards, but really great opportunity to see that piece and ask any questions you have of the creator. Finally, next weekend, we are 1 week away from our annual gala and the opportunity to celebrate the temple community. That will be this next Sunday, May 1st, all together now. The gala will be in person this year, so the first time for 3 years. 2 years? 3 years? 2 away, and then last 2 have been virtual. This is in person. We've all lost track of time. An in-person celebration of the community. We really need everyone's support on this, and we hope everyone can join and attend and support it. The gala will be in honour of Jeffrey Wortman and Peter Balderas, honouring them with the John Alsop Leadership Award, and Dr. Nancy Cohen with the Spirit of Kol Ami Award. Don't miss the silent auction. Come along, buy tickets, place an ad in the Tribute Journal. We want you to come along and be part of this. The congregation does not survive on dues alone. For everything that we do at Kol Ami in terms of the programming and the staffing, the support that everyone gets, the dues don't cover everything. The gala will be a great time, and it's also a great opportunity to just help everything that happens in the community and keep it going. All details available on the website. So everything that you need to keep up to date on the calendar and get the details on the gala and buy a ticket is on the Kol Ami website. That's kol-ami.org. You can register for any of the online and in-person programs, and as I say, get your gala tickets. While you're there, even if the gala doesn't work for you, please consider making a donation towards the synagogue and supporting the work that we do all year long. Thank you, Shabbat Shalom, and Happy Earth Day.
Thank you, Rebecca. We will move into the concluding portion of our service, beginning on page 586. As I ask that we all please rise as we are able for Aleinu L'Shabeach. Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol, L'Teit Gedula L'Yotzer Breshit, Shelo Asanu Kegoyei Aratzot, Velo Samadu כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה
those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and of death. Tonight, Congregation Kol Ami is remembering Walter Hubert, father of Walter Hubert, Elaine Newman, wife of Chuck Pace, Sam Mackler, father of Peter Mackler, Esther Roberts, mother of Shirley Roberts, Fred Frank, brother of Martin Frank, Joseph Block, partner of Harry Klein, Louise Leffitz, wife of Lenny Leffitz, Marty Bernstein, brother of Arthur Bernstein, Adam Kaminsky, father of David Kaminsky, all of whom are remembered behind us in the sanctuary. Tonight, we are also remembering Fred Gutman, friend of Jane Drucker, Hillary Blumfield, wife of Regina Gongol, Manny Shore, father of Johanna Shore, Grace Carey, mother of Deborah Futrowski, Jillian Dowler, aunt of Evan Rollins, Israel Margolin, uncle of Ricky Bander, Phyllis Kowalder, cousin of Erwin Alexander, Reuben Ratkin, grandfather of Rabbi Ross Levy, Helen Barnett, grandmother of Lisa Freed, Mina Weisberg, grandmother of Mark Perchin, Michael Glickman, grandfather of David Glickman, Mario Levi, father of Larry Levi, Patricia D'Amico, mother of John D'Amico, Michael Finelli, stepfather of Herb Schultz, Salomon Sokolovsky, uncle of Erwin Alexander, Judy de Turenne, stepmother of Avi de Turenne, Evelyn Wallace, great aunt of Alan Weisbart, Sari Waxner, grandmother of Robin Waxner, Byron Lebo, father of Stephen Lebo, Louis Stein, grandfather of Andrew Stein, Anna Weinstein, grandmother of Iris Levine, Ellen Lang, aunt of Jane Drucker. And this year, Congregation Kol Ami is remembering Alan Eckaby, Gary Rosenfeld, Stephen May, Herbert Lank, Jack Salzberg, Paul Rush, Hanum Bashi, Michael Epstein, Marvin Keller, Mark Levin, Rick Gould, Erwin Citron, Don Robbins, Paul Fredericks, Paula Tabor, Ann Pendo, Linda Bacalian, Ruben Ibarra, Marion Waxner, Claudia Morton, Ron Stoner, Allison Bentley, Sandy Saltzman, Jay Soler, Shirley Rosenberg, Brandon Lux, Russell Kirschenbaum, Nadine Holt, Christopher Hughes, Yusuf Lakito, Evelyn Rich, Keith Cantrell, Rob Schlesinger, Leona Bander, and Marlene Bram. And to these names, we add those in your hearts and in your mind, whether you add them to the chat on Facebook or YouTube, or you say them aloud wherever you are. The mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 598. Please rise as you are able. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agalau v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam lomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. Vitadar, vitale, vitalal, shmei de kudasha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'romav, huya aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen.
Service will conclude. Please be seated. We'll conclude with that final line of our Kaddish prayer, praying for peace to rain down upon us and to all of the world. Oseh shalom.
Shalom b'romav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'romav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Rama, Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Say Shalom bin Rama, Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. In an ancient midrash about the book of Ecclesiastes, we see the scene of God bringing Adam and Eve to marvel at God's work of creation. And God tells them, look at all of this. All of this I have created for you to appreciate its beauty, for you to appreciate its bounty. But be careful. You must protect it, l'shomra. You must guard over it. For if you do not take care of it, there will be no one left to enjoy it after you. And so I hope that we can take with us into the Shabbat a rest and a care for the earth and an attentiveness to all the different ways and all the different ways that our actions can impact the wider world around us. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos, everyone. Shabbat Shalom online.